If you have the budget to buy only one lens and you are on a very tight budget and your priority is great image or video quality, then this is the lens for you. Hi, my name is Hitesh Gill and the channel you are on is Winters and Drum, and the lens that I'm talking about is a 35mm prime. Well, 35mm prime if you are using full frame camera, and 23mm if you are using a crop sensor camera like the one I have here. It's a 23mm f1.4 prime for my crop sensor camera Fujifilm X-T4, and this is going to be a game changer, especially if you're coming from a cheap zoom lens. Okay, let me give you some reasons for why this lens is the best option for you. The first one is the versatility. 35mm is the most balanced focal length that you can invest in, especially when you are on a budget. It is wide enough to get you some very good establishing shots, especially when you have some space available at the shoot location. But if you decide to get closer to your subject, it is not so wide that things might seem a little distorted. Speaking of getting closer to your subject, this lens can be a very good focal length for portraits also. Especially because at this focal length you start getting some real separation between the subject and the background. Especially when you are on a prime lens, this is going to be very effective. So you're going to get some really good bokeh when you get closer to your subject on open apertures, but you still have the flexibility to get further away from your subject and take a wide shot instead. This might just be the only focal length where doing this thing is possible. In fact, this whole shoot that I'm showing you right now on the screen was done on this one single lens only. Imagine such an important fashion shoot and I did not even change lens even once, even when I was using a prime lens. This is such a versatile focal length that I was able to take close-ups and wide shots with this lens only, and I did not have to change lens even once, which was especially very useful because I was using a gimbal the entire time, and if I had to change lenses, I would have to again and again rebalance the gimbal. Another reason for you to get this prime lens is its price. When you are on a very tight budget, then I would always suggest you to go for a 35mm prime rather than going for a cheap zoom lens. The reason is that it's already very hard to find a zoom lens that can compete with the overall optical quality of a prime lens. Well, don't get me wrong here, there are a lot of high quality zooms available in today's time for all sorts of mounts and brands, but their prices are quite high. And if you want to deliver very good quality results and you are on a tight budget, then I would always suggest you to go for a prime that can do most of your work at high quality rather than going for a zoom that can do all of your work at relatively poor quality. Third and the final reason for you to go for a prime is the low light performance. You can get even the highest quality zoom lenses, for example G Masters, come with an aperture of f2.8, and some even come at the aperture of f4. In case of crop sensors especially, there are good zoom lenses available, but they are at apertures of f4 or f2.8. Same is in the full frame section also. But if you get a 35mm prime, you will at least get an aperture of f2 or even lower than that. Maybe you can get an f1.8 or f1.4 in your budget. The one that I have here, 23mm, which is 35mm equivalent, this is f1.4 and it helps me out in low light situations a lot. There are times when I don't want to get my ISO levels beyond a certain point, and this open aperture helps me a lot in those situations. If I had a Sigma zoom instead of this, that could open up to 2.8. That amount of light would still not be enough in certain scenarios, so I'm glad I invested in this lens. Now this is especially true for people who use crop sensor cameras. We have such a huge variety of prime lenses available to us from different brands, from different Chinese brands at different apertures and manual focus, autofocus, with such great optics that they can compete with a lot of expensive zooms out there. So we have such a huge variety of these lenses. These are lightweight and very, just look at this lens, it's nothing. For a 1.4 lens, this weighs nothing. So I think that's a huge deal in my opinion. I got this 23mm f1.4 lens by Viltrox for around 30,000 rupees, and I dare you, if you can find me a zoom lens in this range that can give me this kind of video quality. Now there are companies like Sigma and Tamron that are making some really good zoom lenses at very good prices. But I would still say that their own prime lenses with lower prices will give you better quality and much better low light performance. If there is an absolute need for a zoom lens, and there can be, then go for a zoom lens without any doubt. Just go for one by investing a good amount of money. You can go for Sigma Arts or Tamarons or Sony G Masters if you can. But I would always suggest you to keep some extra budget to add an additional prime to your kit. By this point you must have realized my love for prime lenses. I don't even own a zoom lens at this point. I sometimes miss the flexibility of a zoom lens. I'm not going to lie to you. But yeah, I mean, shooting with these prime lenses, three prime lenses, has been a game changer for me. At least I've been very intentional about the focal length that I shoot on. This happens when you shoot on a prime lens. You become very intentional about the focal length that you are shooting on. In the beginning it might seem like a hassle, like changing lenses and everything, but along with time you get really good at it. I have changed lenses in unimaginable scenarios. I am walking and I'm changing lenses. I am right beside a waterfall and I've changed lenses there. It's a matter of practice. You can do that. So yeah, I love prime lenses, especially when there are so many options available in the market. Manual lenses, you can go for Seven Artisans and all these companies that are making such cheap prime lenses. There will be manual focus, but they come with very different characteristics. So go for those lenses. You can try those lenses also. Okay, I hope you found this video helpful. I hope you got to know a little more about prime lenses today. If you appreciate this kind of content, then please press that like button and subscribe to my channel for more such content in the future. I will see you in the next video. Till then, be kind, keep grinding. Bye bye.